Krishna, Krishna, Hare Prabhupada ki, Nandara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Samavita Bhakta Vrinda ki, Jai Gaur Prananande.
Haribo.
Narayanam Namaskrityam Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamasukhe Bhakti Bhavati Stiti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Hare Krishna, everyone.
Haribo.
Oh, it's over there.
You want to do that? Because you might be writing something also.
possible. Normally, is it there?
Again.
Okay. Yes, it's good now. Okay.
Decided yesterday.
So, because this verse has no purport, I won't make you recite. I will just recite the Sanskrit myself. Ityuktas tanmatam gyadva gatasa varunantikam aniyadadva tan hajvan upayame varananam. Translation. When King Hadihi made this lila, the great sage Rishika could understand the king's mind. Just remember you the demand of King Gadi upon Rishika's asking the daughter Satyavati to the king was 10,000 horses, special horses. Therefore he went to the demigod Varuna and brought from him the 1,000 horses that Gadi has demanded. After delivering these horses, the sage married the king's beautiful daughter. Sarishe prathilta patnya svashra chapatyakam yaya shrapayidvo bhaya mantrash charum snatum gatum. Translation. Thereafter, Rishika Muni's wife and mother-in-law, each desiring a son, requested the Muni to prepare an oblation. Thus, Rishika Muni prepared one oblation for his wife with a Brahmana mantra and another for his mother-in-law with a Kshatriya mantra. Then he went out to bathe. This is the verse. Vatsatyavati matra
Vatsatavati mantra
Vacharum yachita sati
Svacharum yatita sati
Sthamadva Taya yacham
Sishtamadvatayacham
Matre matur adadzvayam
Matre maturadatsayam
Vatsatavati matra
Vatsatavati matra
Vacharum yachita sati
Svacharum yatita sati
Sthamadva Taya yacham
Sishtamadvatayacham
Matre matur adadzvayam
Matre maturadatsayam Tavat satyavati matra
Satyavati matra
Svacharum yachita sati
Svacharum yachita sati
Sreshtam matvatayachanna
Sreshtam
Matre matru adatsvayam
Matre matur adadzvayam
Satyavati matre
Vatsatavati matra
Sacharum Jachita sati
Vatscharum yachita sati
Srestam Mattatayachayam
Srestam Mattatayachayam
Matre Maturadatsayam
Matre matur adadzvayam. Any of the Vaishnavis wants to try? Those who are brave and bold enough?
She's the bravest. No. Satyavati matra.
Vatsatavati matra Vacharum yachita sati Srestam Mattatayachayam Matre maturadatsayam. Okay, sing the names. Tavat. In the meantime. Satyavati. Satyavati, the wife of Rishika.
Satyavati, the wife
To give. Sati, being. Srestham, better.
better.
Madhva,
Madhva,
thinking.
Thinking.
Taya,
Taya,
by her.
by her.
Yachat,
Achat,
delivered.
delivered.
Matre,
Matre,
to her mother.
to mother.
Matuhu,
Matu,
of the mother.
Of the mother.
Adat,
Adat,
8.
8.
Svayam,
Sayam,
personally.
personally.
Meanwhile, because Satyavati's mother thought that the oblation prepared for her daughter, Richika's wife, must be better, she asked her daughter for that oblation. Satyavati therefore gave her own oblation to her mother and ate her mother's oblation herself. Purport. Husband naturally has some affection for his wife. Therefore, Satyavati's mother thought that the oblation prepared for Satyavati by the sage Rishika must have been better than her own oblation. In Rishika's absence, the mother took the better oblation from Satyavati and ate it. Om Magyantimidamdasya Anangara Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Ruka Kadamayam Tadati Svapadantikam Deham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamaram Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Advaitam Savadutam Harijana Sritam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Shakham Vitam Cha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sudevi Ramami Hari Priye Mancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasidhubhyayacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Before to undertake any comment on the Bhagavatam, I ask the blessing of His Holiness Janama Maharaj.
You finished already?
I would like, but no, I'm just beginning, Maharaj.
What did you say? You were asking for comment?
No, I'm saying before I commenting, I ask for your permission.
Please. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, today a particular dissension between family members happened. So, Gadhi is a king, and he thought Rishika is not a good husband. Therefore, I will try to invent some ways to say no politely. So he thought, let me ask for 10,000 special horses with ear like a lotus and some different signs. And the king thought that's a sufficient way for dowry, so that Rishika will never be able to marry my daughter. There were such instances in the Bhagavatam when Sobari Muni came to ask for the daughter of a particular king, and the king Mandata, he didn't want to say no because Subhari is a powerful rishi, so he says, well, my daughter, they choose by themselves. So if you want my daughter, then better you ask them directly. Like that. So it's a polished way to say no. Usually a no is considered to be very rough. So we don't say no in Vedic culture, not so abruptly. So here Rishika went to please the demigod Varuna, because Varuna is said in the Vedas to facilitate the genealogy, the expansion of the family. So some people may use Durga Devi or Shiva, Shambho, but Varuna is also one who can give good son, or help at least to have a son. So Rishika knew that, and he went to Varuna and he asked for the demigod some blessing. And Varuna told him, those details are mentioned in the Ramayana, told him you have to do a yagya, and with that yagya you will obtain the horses you desire, you need for marrying Satyavati, the daughter of King Gadi. So Rishika undertook this yagya and obtained the horses, bring the horses to King Gadi, obtain the hand of the beautiful Satyavati. And because Rishika is a Brahmana, he knows the samskar. It says that one who is not born with a samskar is a Shudra. That's why in this Kali Yuga, most of the people are Shudra, because they are not being born with a proper preparation. So it is mentioned in the Bhagavatam, in the previous verse we read, that Rishika will place a Kshatriya mantra in the womb of the wife of King Gadi. And he will place a Brahmana mantra in the womb of his wife, Satyavati. Knowing that a Brahmana is supposed to be born from Satyavati through the oblation, and knowing that the son, the oblation and the future son from her and the wife of King Gadi is supposed to become a Kshatriya, she swapped. She took the oblation of Satyavati, because this was infused with a Brahmana mantra. So a Brahmana should be born with that oblation. And Satyavati now is married with a Brahmana. She is coming from the lunar dynasty. So she is a Kshatriya herself, but her husband is a Brahmana. Now the king of Gadi's wife is a Kshatriya. And the son which is to be born is also infused with a Kshatriya mantra. So it should be a pure Kshatriya. But because she swapped out of lust, then the son of Satyavati will be born from a Brahmana father and from a wife who has taken oblation charged with Kshatriya power. So it will make the birth of someone who is partly Brahmana and partly Kshatriya. So similarly, the wife of King Gadi took the oblation which was charged with Brahmanical power, and she ate that being a Kshatriya. So also a son will be partly born Brahmana and Kshatriya. So from this mixing of caste and Tejas will be born Parshuram later on and Vishvamitra. So you may know Vishvamitra and Parshuram. This is why Parshuram is known as a fearful Kshatriya, but Brahmanical inclination, and Vishvamitra is also known to be mixed. So like that in Ramayana, the depiction of the pastimes is in detail given. So this story will give the background for Parshuram's birth. From now on, we will hear about how Parshuram will be born and so on. But the basic understanding is that Satyavati, she has everything. She's a queen. She has a beautiful daughter. The daughter is married to a powerful Brahmana. They have a kingdom. And still Satyavati wants more. So this is one principle that is over and over presented in Bhagavatam is the more you have doesn't mean the more you are satisfied. Rather, if you are in sattva, the more you have, the more you give. Yes. If you are in rajas, the more you have, the more you want. And if you are in ignorance, the more you have, the more you fight. Isn't it? It's like that. You compete. So actually, we can see throughout the globe the history, and we can see which particular country is under which influence. For example, if we look at the history of India, then we can see the more they had, the more actually they give to the world, or they didn't try to invade other countries. But as far as Occident, the West is concerned, the more they have, the more they use that as a weapon to conquer over others and so on. So we can see in the world that the East is driven more by sattva and the West is more driven by rajas. So usually that's why people are not advised to go to the West. Prabhupada did the challenge and managed to elevate people in higher consciousness and transcend the modes. Usually India was one country, but because of Parshuram, the Kshatriya had to leave and start to populate Russia, inauspicious countries like the West, Europe, and so on. So that's why the Western world is more endowed with rajas, because they are the Kshatriyas that fled away from Parshuram and has not been killed. Whereas those Kshatriyas who were staying in India were more pious and more following Vedic culture. And those who didn't want, they were chased by Parshuram and they had to flee. So this is recounted by Prabhupada in the Bhagavatam. So we have some hint. Why we have different culture? Because we have different descendants. So even though our conditioning is not entirely based on Janma used to and still wait in our conditioning. But by proper association we can destroy this karma obtained by birth, these tendencies. By proper application, and here by mantras as well, we can influence the birth of someone. So we may, before birth, chant mantras to influence the birth of someone, But when that person is born, it's not that mantras are not effective anymore. There is also mantras who can change the birth of someone who is manifested, not in the womb. So that's called in Kali Yuga Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we are born without, most of us, Garbhadana Sanskar. We have not been born from Rishika, Rishi, who placed in the womb of her wife a mantra. But that's not the problem. The problem is if we don't chant mantra after the birth. That's the problem. Because we have, by the Hare Krishna mantra, the opportunity to be elevated through the gunas, even if we didn't get any sanskars. So that's the good news. Said in the Bhagavatam 6th canto, Kechit Kevala Bhaktya. Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Agam Dunvanti Kalsnena Nihram Iva Bhaskara. That by the chanting of the holy name, by Bhakti, Shri Radha Parishizvara Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Nitai Sachisuta ki Shri Guru Parampara ki Gaur Premanande. Kechit Kivara Bhakti. Certainly by Bhakti, one can overcome all karmas. Prarabdha, manifested karma, which is the birth, and aprarabdha, which is to come, which is not manifested but yet to come. So Prabhupada used generally for those who are interested to enjoy more and more, and a good warning. He says, in this world, karma exists and you will suffer, even though you don't desire it. Similarly, happiness is supposed to come, even though you don't have to chase it. So we are not meant to accumulate more and more. There is already a certain amount of happiness in this street that is supposed to come. So there is no need to undertake much endeavor to be happy. But if you want to avoid unhappiness from karma, which is to come, then you have to chant some mantras. And those mantras will elevate you from the lower guna that in Kali Yuga we are imbibed with because our parents did not undertake preparatory ceremonies to make us born with proper consciousness. So in this situation, there is in this verse there is something interesting that look, there is Satyavati's mother wants a better son than her daughter, but the husband doesn't want that. So what would you think if the husband and the mother has a conflict? Who would you give the preference to? It's a good study case, you know. Your mother is telling, no, you give me that, and the husband is telling, no, it's not meant for her, it's for us. What will you say? Who is the higher authority in the family, the mother or the husband for the woman, for the daughter? And in this particular case, yes, because when Rishika will learn about this swap from Satyavati and her mother, he will be really angry, and he will curse his own wife for having disobeying him. So it happens often in the devotee's life, similarly, that members of the family, they try to put their finger, in our family life, in our devotional life. And they may have good intention or they may not have. In the case of Satyavati's mother, the intention is not to benefit her daughter. Her intention is to benefit her own dynasty. Similarly, our parents may look like having good intention, but often they have, mixed desires. Like, I often see in the Indian custom that the son has to take care of the parents. And the son is generally somehow convinced of the purity of the sentiment of his parents. So he sees the parents as really protective, really uninterested, really pure. But the fact is that if the son wants to be a brahmachari, then they will start to say, no, it's impossible. You have to bring money, you have to take care of us. What will happen if we are in old age? We gave so much, we invested so many time and pain and energy in you. Now you have to reimburse. And still, most of the child, they say, yes, you're right, yes. But the fact is that if our son is qualified to stay and become a brahmachari, we should encourage him. Because generally, if the son can stay a brahmachari, then he may be brahmana by tendencies. And that's what here Satyavati and her mother are fighting for, to have a brahmana son. But they want a brahmana son, but they want him to be householder in this age. So we want the good part, but not the bad part. That's what happened in this age. So we should not be, why I'm saying all this, intricacies and politics in family life will always be there. Being brahmachari or grihastha, it's like that. Because it's Shad Visha Samutena Dvandva Moyena Bharata. Sarvabhutani Samuam Sargayanti Parantapa. In this world, everybody is born with Isha and Dvesha. Attraction, desire for something, get something, and Dvesha, repulsion for something. So, if you want to get above this conception of I need more and more, then you have to learn inner satisfaction. And inner satisfaction, it comes from the soul. So that's what we usually say to people in this world if they are stressed. Take this book. It will bring you peace that you are looking for but cannot get from material objects. So Krishna is basically speaking so much about that. It is said in Bhagavatam that Sada Santushta Manasa Sarva Dishamaya Disha. That one who is always self-satisfied, happy within, in the 10 direction there will be auspiciousness. Why? Because Sharkara Kantakadibhyo, that it's like to, when you have happiness from the soul, it's like to have good shoes. Wherever you go, even though there may be obstacles on the road, you won't get hurt. Similarly, one who has the wealth of Krishna consciousness within himself, wherever he goes, in the street of Paris, in Château-Lily, in India, or if he stays in the temple, or if he's in the University of Jussieu, or whatever, in Mayapur, village or city, west or east, then for him doesn't matter because he can transport Krishna with himself everywhere, and that's what makes him happy. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Atmani rati rivasyat atmani vashasantustas atmatriptavshtamanava. One who takes atmatripta, pleasure in the self, then he is santushta, is very pacified. To take pleasure in the self means actually to surrender to Krishna, to perform bhakti, devotional service. So, when you are basically only considering Krishna's pleasure, then at that moment self-satisfaction is coming. Because when you look for something else than Krishna's pleasure, that's when the problem starts. Because then at that moment you are dealing with material world and you are dealing with your own enjoyment, and you are trying to get from this world something that won't make you happy. So this is like a 100% chance to fail. If I try to look for something else than Krishna's pleasure, I'm sure to fail to be happy. And to that extent, I'm looking for my happiness. To that extent, I will be distressed. To that extent, I won't be able to fulfill my desire. So, in this world, like Satyavati's mother, we may always look for more and more enjoyment, and it will result in more and more complication. So, in this story, something interesting happens, is that Vishvamitra will be born from Rishika and Satyavati. And Vishvamitra will become the next heir of the Bhumandal. He will be the king of the kingdom, and he will administer it so nicely. But one day he will go to Vasishtha's Muni's ashram. And there Vasishtha Muni hosts him so nicely. He gave padyam, he gave argham, he gave food, he gave nice words. And the king says, Vishvamitra says to the rishi, yes, but my army is staying outside. I was planning just to visit you for a short time, and they are hungry, and it's not good for them to wait like that, so I have to go. But Vasishtha Muni told, not only I can feed you, but I can feed your whole army. So Vishvamitra was thinking, how can this poor Brahmana can feed my whole army, which is like one actually, like 100,000 men? Impossible. It will take time to cook all this. So, but he was curious, and this Vasishtha Muni insisted. And then he invited his Shambhala, his Kamadenuka. And he asked to his Kamadenuka, please arrange for a nice feast to be offered to Vishvamitra and his army. And everything was manifested instantly. When Vishvamitra saw this, he thought, oh, wow, I need that. It is good for my kingdom. My kingdom will never know poverty. My kingdom will never know shortage of anything. So I can have ghee as much as I want for doing my yagyas as a king. will be so much prosperity. I can have gold, I can have jewel, I can have everything. So he asked Vasishtha Muni, can you give me your Kamadenu cow, your Shabala? And basically Vasishtha Muni told him, but I use that cow for offering food to my deity, for doing yagyas, for the prosperity of the whole world. I use that to sustain myself and people who come there. So without her, my ashram is not existing. I cannot do my duty. So you cannot have it. I'm sorry. And Vishwamitra insisted, proposed many things, gold, unlimited, 10 millions of cows. Still Vishwamitra was adamant, no, I'm keeping my wish fulfilling desire cow. And from this cow, then a great dissension arising between Vishwamitra and Vasishtha. Vishwamitra tried to steal the cow, take over, but he could not. So he decided to do penance in order to increase his strength and to become a Brahmashi, a powerful Brahmana, respectable and powerful in front of everyone. That's what he did. So in the Ramayana, this is all described. Meanwhile, this is Vishwamitra. But Jamadagni is the father of Parashurama. He will be born from Satyavati's mother. And Jamadagni will have the same problem. Same problem because Kartavirya will come and he will see also, oh, this wonderful Brahmana has a wish-filling cow and he's so opulent, more than me. I want to take that cow. And Jamadagni will say, okay, you can take the cow, but the cow didn't want. So there will be a fight between the cow, which is super powerful, and between Kartavirya and finally Kartavirya cannot have the cow. So you see, this is the same problem that the son have than their parents. Basically, opulences triggers jealousy, covetousness, and which triggers opposition, which triggers friction. So in any case, be it a Brahmana, be it a Kshatriya, opulences will bring you obstacles. So the more you simplify your life, the more you keep things simple, the more you will avoid obstacles, the more you will avoid friction, the more you will avoid jealousy, covetousness, lust. This is why in Varnashram Dharma, Prabhupada emphasizes to at some point get detached from household life and to take the risk to become more simple, to take the risk to go a step further in renunciation. And so Vaishnava, they are taking everything from the Varnashram Dharma that is supporting bhakti. So it says that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to enlighten us, to teach us Vairagya Vidya. Jnana Vairagya Vidya. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he also encouraged renunciation. He also encouraged studying the scriptures so that we develop enough intelligence and enough desire to be willing to take some distance from opulences. Otherwise, opulences will create obstacles, and yet we are always attached to opulences. So our tendency is to be like Dhritarashtra, to be attached till the end to our little kingdom, to our little throne. And we should be like Vidur, welcoming the moment where Krishna gives us the opportunity to take distance from opulences, so that we can absorb more in bhakti. So yeah, that is basically the situation. Lust is an ever inextinguishable fire, and only the Amrita of bhakti can extinguish it. Otherwise, material pleasure, they are like ghee, and it just fuel the whole material existence. So we don't want to be consumed by that fire. We want rather to be diving into the ocean of bhakti, into the nectarian ocean of Krishna consciousness. So we can engage our desire toward Krishna. We can take some distance with material opulence. Take the opportunity Krishna offers us to be more renounced. We can cultivate knowledge, to use our intelligence to understand how we can better engage material things to Krishna. And like this we can be always liberated, even amidst opulences. Well, that's all for today. If you have any question, you are welcome. Otherwise, this is almost possible time. 3 minutes to go.
Just, I feel like, yes, we have to avoid, we have to dedicate all our time, efforts, and energy and thoughts in the service of Krishna.
Yeah.
But do not avoid opulences, use them in the service of Krishna.
Yeah, but the problem is when we don't want to leave them. And basically, most of the people, they are like that. Most of the people are like that.
Yes,
They agree to engage opulences into Krishna's consciousness for their benefit, but they have difficulty to leave these opulences for their Krishna consciousness as well. So we encourage people to, I actually don't even need so much to encourage them, because they have already this tendency to have material opulence. What you need to encourage them is, okay, you give that to Krishna, you dovetail. But after that, also we have to tell them, my dear Prabhu, the step further after engaging those things is to take a distance from them. And I think this is what people don't want to hear. We have to tell them as well, because it's more easy to encourage their material desire by connecting that to Krishna. But it's more difficult to make them conscious that at some point of their life they have to take some distance from their family members, from their work, from their comfort zone. Going to the forest means basically, in this age, living in a holy place like a temple. But how many grihastha are willing to serve one full time when they are old? You know, we have Paramakaruna here, we have Ananda Svarup, we have Vigatesu. But those are good examples, because they have accepted the challenge, you know, to take some distance and to dive into service for the mission of Srila Prabhupada. But actually, temple should be filled with people like that. Because there is so many grihasthas. But where are the Vanaprastha who are here, you know, full-time engaged in temple services? Obviously here we don't have many facilities, so we won't see many of them, but I've been in many temples. I see
No,
they are not there. They are not there.
hardly a few people.
Yeah, but something is missing because we should all have the desire to serve fully Krishna, and temple are the best facilities to associate. So we should tell them as well, when you have finished your career, your children are grown up, be ready to serve Srila Prabhupada's mission. Be ready to help the temple and to worship the deities. Don't stay at home. Come to the holy place. To come to the forest. But if they don't want, then it is a sign that the influences they have engaged for Krishna, they also take some personal pleasure in that attachment. So it won't help them totally, That's my point. Because we need money, but we need also servants or people to take care and help and especially senior devotees. They have been responsible enough to take care of children and maintain their Krishna consciousness throughout their life. They can be certainly of some inspiration for the young bhaktas and so on, who are willing to also grow and maybe become householders as well. They can get good advice by seeing them and so on. So I'm thinking about that. What do you think about it?
Yes, it's a global problem. Global is one problem.
Yeah.
That's why everybody must have some experience of brahmacharya ashram. If he have that bliss of temple life, then only he can look forward towards, okay, I can leave this family life and go back to that. If you don't have experience of that life, you don't know what what it's all about.
Yes.
So
Okay.
that's why in India, generally it is recommended to the youth that even if you want to get married, at least spend 6 months or 1 year in temple.
Yes. You see, we have encountered a lot of senior devotees, and when they speak about their brahmachari life, it's always filled with wonder and happiness. And still, they don't come back to serve fully in the temple.
some mystic power is, some mystic power is there.
Anyway, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Srimad
Krishna.
Bhagavatam ki,
Jai.
Prabhupada ki,
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Some mystic power restrict them.